your opening comments, a lot of people say that it's tactical, some said it's strategic. My question is very different. One thing which is very close to me, there was a mention, it's a 70-page document, and I'll just go by it. There's a great emphasis on the Arctic cooperation. What is the importance of it, sir?
Karthikeya, thank you very much. I wouldn't even want to go through the 70-page document because I don't think that we can finish it in time. But Arctic cooperation, very extremely important area, and I've been talking about this for a long time, even before Putin came to India. And I've been saying that 2 or 3 areas which are actually important for us from the strategic point of view with Russia, one of them is Arctic. Now, Arctic, China is already actually scampering around, trying to get access into the Arctic simply because not just the minerals, but also in terms of the access into the northern hemisphere, going to Europe directly, and getting to the Antarctic from there. It's important that we find a route through Arctic to have that kind of a strategic access into the European and the Western Peninsula that we need to have if we really think that we have the strategic significance that we should have. If Russians are prepared, I have not read the document as to what extent of cooperation they're talking about. If it is peripheral cooperation in terms of just, giving access to the boats and giving access to people, etc., I'm looking for something deeper, really. I'm looking for something, basically a cooperation where we can talk to each other at a strategic level, where we see that if somebody, you remember how the USA has been hankering, Trump particularly, hankering to get Greenland and going all the way to the Arctic. If the forces or there are strategic forces closer to Arctic, are we into the game or not? If Russia can give us access into the game, I will be happy. But if they're just going to keep us on the periphery to keep us happy, we need to try for it again.
Is this the new race, Professor Swaran Singh, which we are going to witness with climate change? And I'm sorry to say that, instead people, the countries and the leaders, instead of fighting it, are actually gaming it, in the sense when the sea melts, it becomes open during the winters. People think, the countries are thinking in terms of shorter routes to each other, mineral colonization and other stuff. But the fact of the matter is that we are also weaponizing, militarizing that area. Right now, there are 2 or 3 vessels which can do this. Imagine the plethora of vessels doing that in such a fragile ecosystem.
That's true. I think that's a very, very fundamental drift geologically, and of course also in terms of geopolitics. And I'm delighted that on your channel you repeatedly brought the focus on that new area opening up with several potential risks and also opportunities. And naturally, Russia is a major player. China has become increasingly another very, very important stakeholder. But it's not that India has not been engaged. India had issued its Arctic policy way back in March of 2022. And it has been also kind of engaged with that region. And Russia, India coming together will definitely sort of accelerate that process of both sides gradually working together in minimizing the risks and expanding opportunities. And the Arctic policy that was issued had 6 clear pillars defined already. And top priority was given to science and scientific research. Primarily, this could have impact on Indian monsoon, on which most of India's environment depends. So understanding geological evolution of climate and environment. Then, of course, also more brass tacks on economic and human development as to what can be extract, how the shipping could become a slightly different way of more efficient approach to certain destinations. How to also organize international governance of this new opening area of Arctic, because you don't want countries simply, roughshoding their own national interest driven kind of exercises. There have to be norms and regulations. And then for that, we have to focus on building a certain capacity. And for that, India had already, way back in 2007, set up Himadri station there for observation, and another station called INDARC, INDARC, was another observatory that started there from 2014. So India is engaged with that region, is what I'm underlining. India is not the #1 player in determining and in sort of exploring that area. But in that sense, since India has clear interest in that region, India has engaged and invested in that region, very clearly close cooperation with Russia is going to open several new avenues to accelerate that, getting into knowing that region and getting in grip of what India can obtain and what can India contribute, as I said, to minimize risks.